doing. Thank you all for attending our community AMA, which we do on a monthly basis alongside all of our other fantastic updates that we do periodically throughout the months as well. So we have Mark, our CMO, myself, the COO, and of course Tim, the CEO, here on the call. And we are more than thrilled to be able to share what we feel are groundbreaking and impactful updates. As you know, Pleasure Network, over the years and over the months, we have had a firm focus on building and building and building. We went at bearish market times, we were there still building. And now we are in neutral market times, and we're in preparation at the moment to be able to really do what we believe is going to be mass onboarding of the masses in the crypto space and the non-crypto centric type investors as well, from Web 2 to Web 3. So we have all of our amazing core brands, Pleasurely, Pleasureland, as well as Pleasure Nifty. We have amazing updates to share across all of them. We have teased you all with some fantastic marketing campaigns that we've been doing and that will be spanning for the majority of this year. And we have utility updates that we're going to share with you all as well. But I want to just give you all a reminder of why you're all here. I want you all to first just remember what were some of the reasons that had you invested into NSFW in the first place. Because a lot of the times when we're heavily invested or invested into certain projects, companies, or what we call quote unquote plays, sometimes we may feel like we need to be a little impatient, or we may be checking the price charts, or we're thinking we're not having much movement or traction. But I tell you something right now, I firmly believe, and we are very close to where our ambitions and aims that we have to become a global powerhouse adult crypto that'll be known worldwide and for generations to come. Our developments are starting to match our ambitions. This is something I want to share, and I think it's extremely important, because we are not a company, we are not a project that is there to sell people on a false hope or a false dream. We are building very heavily in the background, and what's going on is all of these moving parts are starting to come together in a unified way. So one example that I'll share for all of you is we look at our core brands, Pleasurely, Pleasure Nifty, as well as Pleasureland. They have been operating as independent brands within the Pleasure Network ecosystem. But we're now in a position where the developments have been building so rapidly, and they have been happening in a very fruitful way, that now we have the ability to combine and integrate all of our brands to create a bigger, more immersive ecosystem where users, fans, and creators can enjoy all within it. So there's major integrations that are happening across all of those brands. And as of course, NSFW is the fuel that is driving all of this as well. So we believe that this is the next evolution of Pleasure Network, is putting those puzzle pieces together in a way where every single brand acts as its own funnel to a bigger vision and a bigger purpose. And the people that come in, whether they're from Web 3, whether they're from Web 2, or whether they're people that have heard about us from friends and family, they will not only buy and own NSFW, but they will be able to use all of the gamification methods and strategies that we're creating right now, which we will be sharing a little bit later with some of our utility updates that we're going to be sharing. You're going to all see just how close we are. So I want you all to not only stay patient, but I want you all to really remember why you're here and why you bought NSFW in the first place. Because even though things have happened in what we feel is happening in a basic, stable fashion, I want you all to know one thing. Stability with sustainable growth is exactly what we're looking for. We don't want to be a project or a company that just hypes to the point where we go up 100 times and we drop 95 times. We want to be a project that goes up 2 times, goes up 5 times, goes up 10 times, but stays there, because our ecosystems, our infrastructures, our revenue and business model is done in such a way that it will allow us to stay there. So this is something we're taking very careful aim on. I know many of you ask us when marketing, when this, when that. Just remember one thing. We're very, very clear in terms of what we're trying to do here. And one of the big things is we don't want to waste money. We want to make sure we're ready for what we're doing. Example being is this, something that Mark did, which was fantastic, and some through his connections in the adult space as well, and how we were able to become sponsors for the Snap Awards. Well, now we have a reason when the Snap Awards comes, when it's coming on June 15th, we are now fast tracking certain tools to simplify the transition for the traffic that we believe will come for people that are going to hear about us at the Snap Awards for Pleasurely. So now the Pleasure Guide, we will be having a functional version 1 that's being sped up in light of this event so that we can maximize on the effects of not only the campaign marketing spend we're doing for that, but also maximize on the effects of the event itself. So there's a time and place for everything. And remember, it's about time in the market, not timing. So just remember that as well. So we're very happy to be here. We have a lot of fantastic updates to share with all of you. I'm fired up. I just want to mention that I am sick a little bit as well. So if my voice doesn't sound like the typical Majid voice, just know that I'm putting my body, heart, mind, and spirit on the line for all of you. And I'm going to always do that because, our commitment is to all of you. And I really do believe that we're on a journey together that is going to bring financial independence and freedom to everybody, right? Because what we're trying to accomplish here is something that's never been done before. So we are sort of like the pioneers sailing on the ocean where we are the navigators of our destination, but we're trying to find that land and we are building all the infrastructure to get there. And we have all the tools, supplies, and the team to make sure that ship sails. And so that's what we're doing. And this is a testament for us being on this call now, is we want to make sure that all of you can see just how much is happening behind the scenes and just how close we are to an explosion. So I will move this over now to Mark. We're going to start talking about some updates on some of our core brands. We're going to start off with Pleasurely first before we get into some exciting utility ads, not only on Pleasurely, but on some of our other core brands as well. So Mark, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the introduction and welcome everyone to the AMA. Before I just go into that, I just want to just emphasize something that Majid said and we all talked about is we as a team believe that what we're building is coming to fruition, and we're actually getting to the point now that we will see success. And I said to Majid, I'm going to use this quote, and I'm still going to use this quote. I like the Field of Dreams. I love that film. And the most famous quote from that, if you build it, it will come. Some people find that cheesy. I don't think so. I actually believe it is. And I think it fits perfectly for what we're doing. I feel that Pleasure Network, we're building in bucket loads. So when the timing is right and everything plays out, we'll grow and we'll hit the ground running. As we said, we have an amazing ecosystem, fantastic products, a brilliant team, an awesome community, and the best creators around. So I just want to start with that. So just further on from that in terms of building and talking about building. So talk about Pleasurely. So Pleasurely is the most advanced of our products. And we've got a fantastic platform. Just a couple of things that we're doing. The development team is making steady progress on direct messaging. So fans will be able to direct message the creators in the not too distant future. We're actually on point from where we said in the roadmap where we'll be at the end of Q2 of 2023, and we'll be able to release the first version on this very, very soon. We're hoping within the next month that will be live. So that's a massive thing. It's one of the key components products that we are missing on Pleasurely, and that will be there. So it will mean that fans will be able to talk to creators and vice versa, talking about custom content and basically giving that one-on-one experience. So that would be a massive step forward. So that's on point. That should be ready within the next month, all being well, with no problems. As part of obviously the ecosystem, we've got our roadmap, and one of the key elements on the roadmap was the affiliates and referrals, which was scheduled for Q1 2024, which was a major element of what we're doing. Like with all roadmaps, things will move backwards and forwards based on what's going on, the reactions, proactive, being reactive to certain things. So we have moved that further forward. We believe that's a key part of what we're doing. We believe that referrals will allow creators to earn extra income. It will also allow fans to earn extra income by referring creators or fans to the platform. So we've got, I think, 3 elements. There will be referrals for creators to fans. creators to creators, and fans to fans as well. So everyone will get a piece of the pie by referring people back to the Pleasurely site. So that's something that we sped up, and we will work very hard to get that as soon as possible. In addition to that, we'll be doing the affiliates. So if the affiliates and referrals are different. Referrals are generally for the creators of fan. The affiliates are business to business proposals. So once we get the affiliates up and running, we'll be able to go to some of these big hitting sites throughout the world, and basically set up an affiliate program where they will drive traffic towards Pleasurely and earn money from that. That's going to be key. So a lot of these big brands that have these massive traffic, we will be able to tap into that. So that's been sped up. So we will be covering the basis. It's a great form of marketing. It's one of the best form of marketing, and we know how important that is. So we are moving that forward up the roadmap. A lot, just as soon as I think the DMs are finished, direct messaging finished, we'll be working on that, and it shouldn't take too long to implement. Just a couple other bits and pieces. Well, one of the other bits and pieces is that the whole thing about Pleasurely and what we're doing here at the Pleasure Network is making sure that the whole experience is a better thing. So one of the things that we're working on now is making sure that there's a certain thing where the scrolling and there's a lot of sort of white space. We're actually making more use of that, and we're actually going to be kind of cementing that. So a time frame for some homepage improvements that Cedric and myself are working on to enhance the user experience in scrolling. This is a minor update, but this should actually have maximum impact as well in making sure the whole user experience of Pleasurely is there. There's lots of other smaller bits and pieces that we're working on, but they're the major ones. DMs and affiliates and referrals are massive. They're going to have a massive knock-on effect to not just the experience for people on site, but in terms of marketing and what we can do to go out to the wider audience. Taking the DMs and referrals into place. For me, once we get Camin off of that, we've got the full package. We have got the full package as available. So we're moving swiftly ahead and where we're getting to. So I'm really pleased that we've got the development teams we've got the teams that we've got, the people that can act very, very quickly. So that's kind of where we're at with Pleasurely at the moment, from the development stage.
Yeah. So that's actually very big news, right? The direct messaging is going to be coming. We're aiming for middle of June, but we're not giving that exact date because we want to make sure that whenever we have either a product release or a feature ad on a product, on an existing product, that it's functional upon launch. So it is expected to be delivered before the end of Q2. That is massive news. We are actually as well. This is something that I think is huge too. Is we're exploring how quickly we can implement live cams on Pleasurely as well, for pay by minute and a tipping system. We've had some fantastic calls with our developers where we are looking at how we can fast track all of this. And I want to bring it all back to the narrative that I spoke about, which is creating a cohesive, integrated, immersive game-like experience across all of our brands as well. So we're now in a position where we're going to be able to have, when traffic comes into Pleasurely, we will be able to have a knock-on effect over to Pleasureland and to Pleasure Nifty. Something that I don't want to say this too soon, but something that we are actually going to be integrating into Pleasurely is VTubing, which I'm gonna have Tim speak a little bit about a little later as well. This is something we're actually not only getting to be at the forefront of this in terms of quote unquote competition and what's going on out there, but it's going to cement in all of your minds as a theme that I'm going to keep repeating throughout this call, just at how amazing some of these utility ads are going to be for improving the overall Pleasure Network ecosystem as well. So I don't want to share all of it right this moment. I'm going to share a bit more once we get into the Pleasureland update, as well as some of our Pleasure Nifty updates. And of course, some of you and all of you already know some of our recent hypey news that we've discussed and shared as a big piece of news to our community for not only brand building, but public exposure and awareness. We're going to zone in on that as well and share a bit more about our plans around how to maximize on that and really get as many eyes as possible hearing about us and buying us as well. So I want to get moving forward to Pleasureland to start off on some of the updates. And I'm going to let Tim take the floor a little bit on sharing some of the amazing utilities that he's found out about, that we've all found out about, that we were not only surprised, but we were ecstatic to have seen just how soon this can be integrated into Pleasureland. But we will share some of the strategies that we're going to be moving forward with for those integrations. So Tim, the floor is yours.
Yeah. So thanks both for the sense of update on both. From both. I think in Pleasureland we've always had a lot of ideas how to what we could do, um, like build a pink tower and with pink dolls and have all kinds of businesses inside, but we couldn't really figure out what path we needed to walk to get the first minimal viable product. But now we came along with some new technology updates as well. And we're gonna what you mentioned, Majid, about the VTubing. Um, we're not that far away from adding some super cool utility on the ping dolls, um, and that is VTubing with your ping doll. So you could literally live stream being your ping doll. Um, and you only have to use your phone for the facial recognition, and it can literally talk with the same facial expressions that you have at that moment. So yeah, that's one thing that we're going to add as a utility for the ping dolls. So you can use your ping doll for VTubing, and obviously that can be done on Pleasurely, but that can also
Exactly.
be on Twitch, on all big streaming sites. Um, so that's a big thing that we're working on. But I don't know what kind of other parts you, Majid, had in mind about updating.
Yeah. Tim, you made an amazing point there with regards to Pleasurely. So now, imagine, on Pleasurely, right? Having VTubing available on Pleasurely, so virtual avatar streaming as an option where our creators can use it as a revenue stream, but also if the fans want to interact with the creators that way, they can as well. So we're looking at 3D avatars, we're looking at live cams coming in, and then we see that already from this, right? What will end up happening, right? Just to give you all a bit of an idea here is that from the Pleasurely side and having VTubing available, right? Fans and users alike will have the opportunity to purchase even if they want to go down that road, purchasing their favorite 3D avatar of their creator over in Pleasureland. So that's amazing, right? They can meet their favorite creators in the metaverse, and they can start to enhance their gaming experience there by, for example, using Pleasure Nifty as a marketplace, the way that Steam does in the gaming world, right? Where people can buy NFT packs and have in-game purchases for more experiences, right? I want to just label this for all of you, because even when I first came in and when Mark first came in, I'd be completely honest with all of you, or candid with all of you. There was a sense of overwhelm at the start because there were so many different brands that we were meant to come in to try to find a way to connect them in a way that is cohesive, in a way that's sustainable, and in a way that is extremely attractive altogether, in a story, in a narrative that we want to share with the world. And we're so close to that. And I just wanted to give you some examples of this. The VTubing coming in onto Pleasurely as well as in Pleasureland is just one example of those integrations as well. I'm very excited about that. And even on the Pleasureland side, I will tell you right now, something that I always believe in is instead of going after the individual, we go after the entity. Like, yes, we are going to have a lot of organic traffic in terms of, even investors and even people that want to use our metaverse, or creators coming in organically. But, I tell you, on the Pleasureland side, we're in talks with having some of the biggest partnerships with particular entities and groups right now, that with just a shake of the hand with them right now, and this is not a folk story that I'm sharing, we'll have thousands of new users coming into Pleasureland almost instantly, right? And that is something that we're focusing on. In fact, that's why now what we're doing is we are creating some new models and some new creator campaigns as well on the Pleasure Nifty side, where we're going to showcase a lot of this, and we're going to be making a big announcement in the middle of June on this as well, where we're going to use particular creators and feature them to be able to utilize some of our new developments and showcase it to the world as well. But I will tell you something, that on the Pleasureland side, we're very close to some mass onboarding on that side as well, right? And so Pink Doll holders, Pink Pass holders, as well, you have not been forgotten. So just remember that. So we are bringing a lot of updates for all of you, and we thank you for the investment that you made on your Pink Dolls and on your Pink Passes in the previous months as well. If you look at the roadmap too, we mentioned one part, which was digital NFTs, which was connecting the digital world to the physical world, right? Now we're very close on the Pleasure Nifty side, where just with the click of a button, you can have digital shirts of your favorite creator over back on the metaverse side, and even have custom physical merch of your creator being sent to you right away to bridge that gap from the virtual to the physical as well. So, and I already mentioned that Pleasure Nifty is going to act like a Steam game engine, and it's going to actually act like the heartbeat of NFT packs and various assets that can be purchased on Pleasureland as well. So that is really, really exciting, and I tell you, we're very early in this space. Just know that. I want you all to know just how early we are, right? And this is one thing that I love about the Pleasure Network community, is they understand that the time will come. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And this is something I wholeheartedly believe. One thing that I'll give a testament to is Tim as well. Tim has the one that came in, he saved the previous project that was XXX Nifty, turned it into Pleasure Network, but he has a long-term mindset as well. We're all here for the long haul, but we want to build it right the first time. This is what we do. What we don't want is, we don't want to build something and then have to backtrack and revise it and edit it and have wasted resources and have an upset community that things didn't work out. We would rather take the approach of build it right the first time. And I firmly believe this is what we're doing as well. And I believe that all of you are going to be handsomely rewarded for your patience. All you really have to do is just hold, buy more, tell everybody about Pleasure Network, dollar cost average if you need to, and let us as experts do the rest for you. It's a very simple ask on our end, right? But that's all we're really asking for. So, to move forward as well, I think I will let Tim open the floor just a little bit on what our recent news that we spoke about with the Stormy Daniels dress auction that is happening.
I would like to add one more thing to the previous part.
Yes.
Because the reason why we create these products which utilize the Pleasure Coin is to showcase what's possible. We want to create the well, at least one way to hold your own money or Pleasure Coins and pay with it and do whatever you want with it. And we're gonna implement microtransactions of Pleasure Coin in Pleasureland. So, for example, if you want to interact with a Pink Doll from someone else, then you need to pay 10 NSFW. It's not a lot, but it adds utility to the token. So the token is going to be also added in the packs which you mentioned, the NFT packs.
Yes.
We're gonna work together with a lot of other companies that want to set foot into Web3, adult companies that want to launch something like a Kickstarter, and we will give them free Pleasure Coins, or at least they buy it from us, but that they will get it. But the Web2 users will just kickstart a new project, and they will get something. They need to claim it. So we're going to bring a lot of people to the Pleasure Coin. We're going to try to look for other companies and partners which can utilize the Pleasure Coin as well. And we cannot say a lot yet, but we're really gonna step up and double down on the resources for the payment gateway, because we think that is the right time to focus more on that, to make a plugin for other websites to use Pleasure Coin as well. And that was the thing I wanted to add.
Yeah, and I will add to that. Tim hit the nail on the head, so to speak, when he spoke about this. And this goes back to what we spoke about with the roadmap and how the roadmap is adaptable and how we are able as a core team to make changes based on the reactivities that we need to be facing and having in any given time. So when Tim speaks about a payment gateway where NSFW is a payment gateway, if you look at the roadmap, we talked about NSFW Pay, right, as a payment processor for everything adult in Web3, for example. Tim just made an example of where companies will come in and they will want to start implementing themselves in the adult space, in the Web3 space, using NSFW as a payment processor for that. And that's something that's very big that I actually think, Mark, it would be great for you to share a little bit more about some of the banking regulations that are going on right now that we feel we are more than well positioned to be ready for in light of what Tim spoke about. I believe that all these points are interconnected. So, and then we'll move on to the next part.
Yeah, so we've always known that banks are a problem. Hence the reason that the crypto space has become what it is. The banks are putting more and more regulations, making it harder and harder for fans to buy content, harder and harder for creators to produce the content, and putting these rules and regulations that become very vanilla in terms of what they're trying to do. And most businesses can't get bank accounts, etc. So we can't give too much away, but we believe there's a new set of rules, regulations that are to come very, very soon.
We have a very trustworthy source.
Yep, so much trustworthy that the peoples that are involved in this have already started implemented some of these regulations onto the site. So they've already put the work in, knowing that there's more chance this is going to come. So these rules and regulations that are going to come in are going to make it extremely difficult for I would say, if everything is right, probably 50% of the adult sites throughout the world, maybe even more, will have to totally change what they do in terms of the content that they're putting out there, in terms of the uses of words, in terms of the type of genres that they focus on. If this actually happens, which I believe will, and we believe will, we will step in. This is where we will come in. This is where we will come into our own in terms of the crypto. And the fact is that we are not regulated by these banks that are discriminating against an industry that is legal. And what we are offering, that will, to me, that could be the turning point that we see. A lot of mass adoptions in terms of crypto, because otherwise they're going to have to change what they do.
Yeah,
they're going to have to.
That's basically what if I summarize it for myself, usually, or for someone else, then it's like either you have to become like, well, you need to do whatever they want, else you can't use payment systems, or you use crypto. So probably 50 to 75% will be forced to go into crypto Web3 because they have a genre which is always going to be unacceptable. So it's a huge opportunity, and we're fully jumping in the opportunity.
100%, and as Polyani just said, we are at huge advantages. We are at huge advantages because we are so far forward compared to everyone else. You will already see that this is probably going to happen. There is some sites, and I'm not going to name them, that are adapting crypto into their platforms. That to me shows that change is coming. Mm-hmm. It shows that there is stuff that's going to be coming, and they're doing it for that reason. We are at a massive advantage with Pleasurely, Pleasure Nifty, Pleasureland, and this is where that actually I believe there's going to be a lot of other companies coming to us saying, can we use NSFW Pleasure Coin on our site? Because we can't sit there and change totally everything we're doing. XYZ is going to be permitted. It's going to be unbilled. They're not going to be able to have it on their platform. And the only way we can do that is either by becoming very vanilla or taking crypto. We become the solution.
Yeah, and it's a very legal, annoying process to start your own token. So there will be a lot of adult websites, adult games, adult whatever that want to implement Pleasure Coin instead of creating something for themselves, because it's just going to be a pain in the arse if you create a coin. I can talk from experience.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So again, I believe, one thing is, I think luck is created. It's not just given to people. So the fact that these regulations are coming in, and in light of things like the updated roadmap that we have, and how we've already been thinking further ahead around NSFW being that core payment processor that allows adult companies to come in and use crypto as a payment method. It's all going to come together. And again, our sources that we have are very reputable and trusted sources. So in fact, we're sharing this a little bit more in advance to all of you, but it's something we've caught wind of through our connections and the people that we know. So we're happy to share that, and I hope that you all see. I love what Jason said in the main chat. Pleasure payment system for the world. Yes, it can actually get to that, because almost 50 to 60% of the adult industry, by and large, globally, is going to be affected by this in a very serious way. And so we, as always, we are always there to create the solutions to the problems in the adult space. And this is another example of how we're going to be doing that as well. And to move forward, as we shared on behalf of the core team to all of you what we believe is going to be a massive public relations, or you can call it a brand building exercise campaign with regards to the Stormy Daniels dress. So I will share a bit of a background on that. I know just a little bit about the starting points or the inception behind the dress, but I know that earlier on in Pleasure Network's lifespan, this dress was bought. I believe, Tim, it was bought by a few individuals, and now we're in a position where an auction house has come forward and is going to help market, sponsor, and facilitate the sale of Stormy Daniels' dress. And we believe, again, going back to the theme of timing, right? Given the fact that Donald Trump is in a controversial state right now, both in media and in his personal life, with some of the allegations, accusations, however you want to call them, or depending on what sort of side of the political pendulum you are. We're not here to have a political debate. What we're here to tell you is that all kinds of publicity is good. It's good publicity, whether it's good or bad. It's still going to give mass exposure. So the fact that we have the dress that was allegedly used in the affair with Donald Trump, the fact that we have contact with Stormy Daniels, who knows she will earn 10% of the sale value. And again, this campaign will span throughout the entire year. The sale should be expected to happen in October. She will earn 10% to help be a promoter of this as well. And, knowing that there's controversies right now with Donald Trump running for presidency, we feel that this is going to be a massive exposure boost for Pleasure Network, considering that the seller is Pleasure Network as well. So one thing I'll mention before maybe Tim can share a few more points too on this. The big thing that we see here is creating the proper marketing campaigns around this. So, I know some people in the main chat, some of our community asked, what is the starting bid for the sale? Or, what is, when is this all going to happen? We've had some of our bigger holders ask us this. In fact, if we don't want it to be rushed, we want to be part of this media scene around these allegations and accusations for as long as possible, and try to drive the biggest sale that we can. So just know that we have this marketing support of the auction house. We have our own level of support with the kinds of campaigns that we want to be doing on the crypto side and NFT side. I know that Tim had mentioned, I think Donald Trump had created NFTs and they all sold out. So we're even thinking of creating some unique limited edition NFTs of Stormy Daniels, of the dress, of Donald Trump, and Pleasureland as well. So that's hot. So crypto and NFT marketing campaigns will be coming. Traditional marketing campaigns through traditional media outlets will be coming as well. Different kinds of press releases. We're really going to focus in on this because we believe that this can help us have a huge break for global exposure. And I don't believe this is an opportunity that comes very often. So we're definitely going to capitalize on that as well. And I want you all to really understand that, again, imagine we tried to rush into everything before, or if we did that and we weren't ready for the mass adoption of the people that would want to buy pleasure coin, or if they come into our products and they don't understand how they're all integrated all together, how it all works, why they should stay in the ecosystem, how to stake, how to do this, how do they, what is crypto, what's the education side of it, and how am I supposed to buy crypto? Oh, it's too much work, I don't want to do it. This is why we're trying to create all of the tools to make it so simple that a monkey with half a brain can understand, right? And we believe that this Stormy Daniels dress and its auction house that is going to be sponsoring this sale, that by the time the sale happens, we're going to be more than ready for that mass global onboarding as well. So Tim, do you have any other words you want to add to this?
Yeah, I think you mentioned a few things already, which I want to dive a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Like so it is a dress and it is an NFT. It's the digital. It's really what we want to be doing with Pleasure Nifty as well. But because this is so exclusive, we want to have a team of experts that help us create a campaign around it, and also get people to they also know people that would be interested in these kind of items. So they are also selling a lot of old properties of Michael Jackson, or not properties, like goods, like his old outfits and stuff like that. They are also auctioning that. But basically, what the cool thing is about this dress, that the dress itself is just one thing of the whole campaign that we're gonna do. We're gonna create a NFT collection around it. We don't know yet what, but it might be a dress collection, and it might add utility in Pleasureland if you have one, or you might be able to be Donald Trump in Pleasureland and do something with Stormy Daniels, or I don't know, something like that. We are still crafting it, and also the legal thing is something that we need to look into. So probably it will not be Donald Trump, but Donald Trump or something, just to be legally safe. But this will be a whole whole campaign, and maybe a whole product within Pleasureland. But it's really going to be big and huge, like Mr. Trump always said.
Just like how he says it.
But yeah, I don't know. We just started. I still have to send the dress to them in like a secured FedEx package. And they're gonna look if it's really authentic, and they're gonna be making photos, 3D models of it, and they're gonna be creating the campaign around it. And
still have to send the
And again, as we said before, this is going to span for throughout most of this year, and planning, strategy, execution, and delivery is what we're focusing on in terms of creating NFT collections around it, in terms of being able to try to create as much hype as possible around this, what we feel is an event. We're creating an event around this as well. So this is something that we should all be looking forward to as well. Just a few other smaller points, just to bring up before we get into the questions. Of course, at any given time, there's always areas of improvement in which we can be growing in, whether it's onboarding new staff, whether it's shifting our attention to maybe an area of one of our socials that through our data and our analysis we feel needs to be improved. What I will say is that we are going to be ramping up our Discord management and growth as well. We feel that our Discord is quote unquote lacking, and this is something that we've identified for quite a while now. So expect to see not only more community engagement, but expect to see our Discord really laying out the story and the narrative of what we are immediately when someone comes in. And we are aware that there is a big NFT community within Discord. Some of these individuals only buy NFTs. So we will be focusing in on various marketing plans within the Discord communities that we're aware of, and as well. So this is just one other small point that we're mentioning there, is that we're always looking to add on staff in the areas that we feel is the most suitable for where they need to be added to. Other than that as well, I think we've covered the majority of our updates. If there's anything else that you think we've missed, Mark, feel free to share. If not, we're happy to answer some questions, and I feel we have quite a few, which really amps me up. And as you all know, I'm quite sick, so if I see more questions, I promise you I will be more energized. So keep them coming.
I mean, if you don't mind, if I could just give a little quick update on the marketing, just some other bits and pieces. I'll quickly run through those so everyone's aware of those. One thing I always say, and I've always said this, the biggest thing about any business and stuff is creators and what they bring to the table. The creators are already growing at their marketing pleasurely and the products, and so please make sure you support those, because they are an important asset. It brings people in. They work extremely hard to bring people to the table. So please support our creators. And one in particular is in the chat now, Pollyanny. Pollyanny has been with us for a long time. She's an awesome creator, and I don't know if anyone's seen a lot of her social stuff, but she is pushing the narrative of pushing the Web 2 to Web 3. She's going to be getting all her fans over into the Web 3 space. So we're obviously working with Pollyanny to make sure we can do that. So please get behind and support our creators, because they are what is going to help us drive forward. So yeah, please do that. So just again, really quick update. We talked about Stormy Daniels' dress. A big part of what we're doing is making sure that we're building traffic. So we're looking at all different traffic initiatives. We're looking at ad networking campaigns and to run some ad networking campaigns in a not too distant future. I will be on a podcast, date to be confirmed, on the Adult Media Broker Talk, which is a big adult podcast within the industry that has many big creators and adult businesses that appeared on there. And I think we're going to be the first crypto Web3 business appearing. So it gives us a great showcase to publicize who we are, what we do, and our products. We're talking to some viral social media accounts about some collaborations to help push the Pleasure Network brand out there. We're increasing our social media presence. We recently brought in I know we talked about staff. We brought a social media manager to come in and to kind of run our social media. So they're going to be upping what they're doing. We're increasing our press releases out to mainstream and the adult. And I've shared a press release in the channel just now of one of the ones that picked up the Stormy Daniels. Why not? Big adult news out there. They've picked it up. It's on there. Please check out the channel. We've got the Snap Awards, which is 15th of June. Thank you everyone that supported and pushed and done everything that we've done. We're now in the hands of who has the most votes for Pleasurely, but we've got increasing visibility throughout the whole thing. The reason we wanted to get involved in Snap is that it wasn't a one-off marketing initiative. It went over 3 to 4 months, so you will still be seeing marketing going out. I've been very cheeky, and I've taken over the awards night with lots of Pleasurely branding and Pleasure Network branding. I probably will lose my chairpersonship from the fact I've taken over it. So I do apologise, and if after the awards I'm not chairperson, that's the reason why. So we'll have lots of branding. There'll be lots of creators that we have seeing our brands, and there'll be lots of campaigns after as well. So there could be additional marketing around that. We talked about the affiliates and the referrals. Again, once that's in place, that's going to be a great form of marketing, not just from fans and creators, but other adult businesses. There'll be more marketing content. I'm working with our great in-house guy, Gats, everyone knows, because content's king. The more content we have, the more content we push out there, the more eyeballs that are going to be on our brand. So we're working to increase that. Talked about the new banking regulations. As soon as those come into place, we'll be going gung-ho on the marketing. We're looking at obviously other marketing avenues as well being explored, what we can do, where we can target. I'm going to bring the idea to Tim soon about doing some billboards So we're looking at every route to market possible that we can actually get in there, and we're not going to spend massive amounts in one go, because what we're picking and choosing, we're making sure that we're getting it right. What we do is making sure that the money that we spend is going to have maximum exposure and ROI in terms of what we're doing. So we're going to be looking at mainstream, adult marketing, lots of other different bits and pieces. And when I say we're going to be looking at, we are looking at. So when the time is right, we will press the button. And we, again, the last thing we talked about is the pleasure guide. One of the key things that we need to realize is that we're in a space where most adult buyers are used to fiat payments. We're in a new space, so we know that education is important. The pleasure guide that we're working on, that the team are working with lots of different people on, will hopefully go live very, very soon, and we'll actually be able to educate people around how you use our platforms, how crypto is, how basically crypto for dummies, if you want to see it. So making that whole process very, very easy. So there'll be marketing around that. So yeah, I'll end with this is the future, because this is the future, like Pollyanna says, and we're doing everything we possibly can from a marketing, from a development, from a building perspective. We are this close to greatness. The button will be pressed when the time is right.
It doesn't make sense to scale if you don't know where to scale, right? So we're doing everything at the right time. So
Absolutely.
100%.
So I know that all of you, I hope that smoke isn't coming out of your ears with what we feel has been a very dense community update, because we did not only share a lot, but we hope and we believe that each and every one of you, that we've reignited your passion for why you're here, and we hope that passion can be translated, not only kept, but translated forward alongside us. We're very, very happy to always be here to make updates for all of you. In fact, there was an agreement with leadership as well, where not only do we have these monthly updates, but on a weekly basis, it could either be my voice, Mark's voice, Tim's voice. We will be as transparent as possible on some of the little details on what we're doing on a week-by-week basis, because as the saying goes, the devil's always in the details. And so we will be constantly informing you all at all times, to make sure and to always cement in your minds that your money is safe with us, and that you are in the right space with us too. So besides that, we can now move the floor over to some community questions. I know we have some great questions that have been asked preemptively before we started this call. So let's take a look at some of them. And I will need the support of Tim and Mark as well if there's other questions on the YouTube side. Yeah. So
one of the first questions, can we get an update on the core team? Anyone left, anyone added, and their roles? You talked about the Discord manager, the Discord person coming in. We have, like with any other business, had people leave, people come and go in business. That's what it is. And may have seen that Liv and Jordana have moved on. They've took on some full-time projects, and we wish them the best of luck. They've done an amazing job for us, and we wish them the best of luck. But like any business, they come and go. So we're always looking for amazing staff. Tim, when he set out to do is to cherry pick people, to bring the greatest people within the industry, to make sure that we can educate, we can deliver on everything, and that's what you're doing. So we're always open, and like we said, we brought a social media person in, we're going to be bringing a Discord person in. We're working with the creators to see what we can do with them too. So there's going to be lots of stuff we will continue to build, but people will come and go. That's life. That happens in every business. But yeah, the core team is still here. We lost a few, we'll be gaining a few soon as well. So yeah, hopefully that's all right there. Sorry to jump in on that question, but I thought I'd know that. On the roadmap, it says exchange listings in Q2. Is that still planned in Q2?
Yeah, so I'll answer this as well. So as you see on the roadmap, we have exchange listings pretty much throughout every single quarter, right? And of course, as you all know, exchanges are a great way to not only be able to expand the accessibility of being able to purchase NSFW, we also understand that many in crypto investors prefer exchanges too, and others don't. Others prefer DEXs, but we have been in contact with multiple exchanges. Obviously, exchange listings are on our mind, not only just one, but multiple ones over time. But again, as we've always said, and as we've been reiterating on this call as well, timing is crucial. So we are trying to plan the right timing around particular exchange listings where we know that it will make sense. And so stay tuned for that. We will provide updates when we can and at the right time for this as well. And I believe the next question from is, do we know what the opening bid price will be? Who is the auction house? Maybe Tim, I can let you answer this.
Well, we're gonna figure out. I don't know what the opening bid will be. They will advise us if we even need an opening bid, or that it's just going to be random at whatever someone bids. I think that the sellers will not sell it for less that they bought for. So at least the selling price, I think it was like 25K or something. But I can't, something in that area. So I can imagine that it wouldn't be lower than that, but for now it's all speculation. I think it will be the perfect opening price, but they will be paid way more than the opening price anyway. So.
Yeah. And we have another question. It's any possible teasers for Pleasure Pass holders, ideas for new perks. We did mention that we have not forgotten about our Pleasure Pass holders, Pink Doll holders, Pink Pass holders as well. Tim, are we able to provide any teasers at the moment, or is this is the case of wait until we have our big updates that are coming around the Pleasureland?
A teaser is something like soon, right? That's a teaser. Or?
Yeah.
No, I think we can't provide any information, but there will be something not very long away from here. So.
Yes. I mean, this is some of the core discussions that we're having, not only on the utility ads that we're creating. We've shared some of them on this call already, but we're definitely looking to increase utilities for our Pleasure Pass holders and make it even more exclusive for our existing Pleasure Pass holders. So that's the most that I will share on that as a teaser. The next question is, after some months now, what was the benefit in acquiring Vice, investors, base, products, staff? I was not the facilitator of acquiring Vice. I will say maybe 1 point around this, and I think that it would be best for Tim to answer the rest of it, or Mark as well. But I believe Tim would be the best to answer this. So we're an inclusive type company where we're not only here for Pleasure Network, but we're here for a much bigger cause than ourselves, in the sense that we if we see companies that are struggling, whether that's us being able to have NSFW Pay be the solution to that problem for them as a payment processor on the crypto side, whether it's an adult company being able to really wanting to get started on Web3, but they're a Web2 company, and the gamification that we have on Pleasureland, we're able to say, hey, we're able to bring you in, or having Pleasure Nifty, a crypto itself that doesn't have the funding to be able to create their own marketplace, but we're able to white label their marketplaces on Pleasure Nifty. I'm going off on a tangent, but the point is there's a lot of opportunities that we have as solutions for people, entities, and organizations. So with regards to Vice and moving forward, if we identify opportunities where we can save a community, we can save those group of investors and the creators as well, and bring them into our ecosystem so that our community grows and we grow together, we feel that that's a moral and ethical duty for us, and we will explore those, provided the agreements make the most sense for Pleasure Network in light of all of that. And I think that besides that as well, I think Tim, maybe if you'd like to share a few points in terms of your thoughts on what the benefit was in acquiring Vice.
Yeah. So I think that there were a few benefits. First of all, another failed adult project is not going to be helpful for us in the future. So, like you mentioned, saving a adult project that is struggling, or even they were looking for someone to take them over because they wanted to stop. They were burned out. So the project didn't work as they hoped. They made a lot of promises, and they couldn't. Yeah, they didn't have the energy to pursue that. So that was one of the things. I think that a few hundred extra holders, and maybe not as active as everyone is not as active as everyone, obviously, but I think it's good to be looking in all ways to get more holders and more people engaged with our products, and more engaged with our creators, and yeah, I think it's not always just through crypto marketing or adult marketing that you can find people. You can also just strategically acquire people, users, or whatever the right term is. Yeah, and I think the vision of Vice World was quite aligned with what we were doing. They have the metaverse idea and the creators. That was, yeah, there was not very much disalignment with that. And I know Jordana for a while already. They were going to put their metaverse project into Pleasureland, so it's a very logical thing to do. So now we're gonna use the second batch of the LP that gets unlocked in October, I think, to see how we can integrate their Vice metaverse project into Pleasureland. Oh yeah, it's a strategical acquisition with a lot of perks for anyone.
Can I add to that as well? I mean, exactly. It's about growing the community. Remember, we're a new industry, new sector within this field, and the more voices and the more people that we have banging the right drum and the same drum, the better it's going to be. It was great marketing for us. We saved the project. We brought over some great staff that brought some great ideas to the table. There's some great creators that have come over from there. So it was a no-brainer. Anyway, it was a no-brainer, but actually it has massive amounts of perks. Like we said, we're in a competitive marketplace in terms of the adult space, but not in terms of the crypto space. So the more people we've got, and the more people that know about us, and the column inches that we get from the marketing and everything, it can only have positive things, and it has had a positive thing, and that's how I see it from this side.
Yeah, and then I think it was the same reason why I wrote that open letter to NSFW app, because they are struggling, and at least that from my point of view, as far as I can see, they are struggling, and we wanted to help them. And it's better to have one big community that is very strong than 100 small communities that can't fix the problems that we need to fix. It's not going to be an easy road. Almost all the projects are not here anymore after the bear market. We're still here, so why not join forces and make it happen? So that's the idea.
Yeah. No, those were
More questions?
Yeah, there's a couple more. This one is, when will NSFW be officially listed at some bigger crypto exchanges like BitGet, Coinbase, or others? Of course, I mentioned earlier that we're obviously aiming to get on as many proper and correct exchanges as possible at the right time. But as over time, as volume picks up, as market conditions get better, as we build more and more attraction as well, then naturally getting onto the larger scale exchanges can and will happen. So it's really a time game here. So of course that's the goal of any crypto project, is to be getting onto top 10 exchanges, top 5 exchanges, and so on and so forth as well. But because exchanges have different tiers as well, sometimes it's also strategic to get onto lower tier exchanges based on the geography of their investors and users, and whether or not that will actually create more of a positive effect or impact by listing on those exchanges for the type of project or company we are sometimes. So we have to explore those angles too, as well, leading up to getting to the top 10 and top 5 exchanges. Another question was, when are they also available on phone? Quite frankly, we have not even discussed the idea of I'm not actually sure what this question is referring to. When are they also available on phone? So I apologize, it's a little too vague. We'll have to skip over that question because I'm not sure what they is. There's just 2 last questions here. One is, hi, when do the dolls and Pink Tower stuff goes live? I would urge you to speak to some of our moderators in our main chat, because our Pink Dolls are live at the moment, and you can buy them as well on secondary markets too. So I'm sure a moderator will be able to help you and maybe share a link on OpenSeas where you can buy a Pink Doll. As for the Pink Tower, it is not live yet, is my understanding, but of course it is in development, and it's in our roadmap as well. I believe it's in, I'm trying to remember which quarter we have it scheduled in for. Sometime in 2024. I believe it's Q1 2024. But again, so just double check the roadmap and you'll see when our Pink Tower grand opening will be. And the final question is, I know we have staking. Do we have LP opportunities? I think, Tim, this is a great question for you to wrap up with, to answer about, besides staking, do individuals have the ability for LP opportunities? I believe Polyani was asking around LP pools.
So yeah, you can create LP pools on Uniswap with V3, V2. So I think we should be creating some how-to guides on our pleasure guide, because it's very easy to do, but you have to see it once to know how it works. But yeah, definitely you can add LP. We don't have any LP rewards at this moment, but we are setting up I don't know what the word was that we came up with, Majid, but for the LP the treasury fund, so that we're gonna be along the way next bull run. We have a treasury fund with some pleasure coins, and we're going to sell them over the counter, and we're going to add it to the LP, so that once we grow and the price goes up, we keep adding new liquidity, so that the price will be more stable along the way up.
Correct.
So
yeah, great. And that concludes all of the questions that our some of our community members have asked. So we thank you all for having asked those questions. We thank everyone that has been with us from start to finish, as well as anybody that was here, maybe just joined in or tuned in at some point throughout as well. Just remember, as I said, we are very, very close to an explosion on Pleasure Network. I believe that. As I've said, luck is not created, luck is made. And good luck is already here, and more good luck is on the way for all of us. We've provided a lot of dense news and information across all of our core brands. I hope that we've made it very clear around some of our next steps to go from where Pleasure Network is now to what we feel is Pleasure Network 2.0, or the more evolved version of Pleasure Network, as we're constantly evolving at all times. And besides that, I do think that we do have even more news to share. It's just, we just need you to also be a little bit not only patient, but not only patient with us, but patient with yourselves too, because I think that in the crypto space, I believe the concept of time can be a little bit skewed, sometimes one day in crypto feels like a week or a month in real time. But because we're at the forefront of an industry, because we're here creating the solutions to the problems in an existing industry, and because we're also in crypto as well, which has its own advantages, we are, like I said, we are that ship that is sailing to uncharted territories, but we have the right crew in place on board as well. So with that being said, we want to thank you all for being on the call. And if anyone else wants to share any few points, feel free. But other than that, a great time to conclude, and we to you all on our next AMA.
I will say one thing. Can I have one last word?
One.
So there was one other question: is when's pleasure shirts going to be available that we can promote to get all the eyeballs? Well, that's one thing we haven't mentioned. Merch stores coming soon.
Yes. How did we miss that?
Well, we have so much to share.
We have so much to share that we missed. That's actually quite an important piece of news as well. So thank you for bringing that up, Mark, as well, and as well, Joe, for reminding us as well. Other than that, we will be, of course, before the end of the month, we will be making a Medium article with some of this, because we know that some users, some investors and community members, creators alike, maybe they are unable to be on these calls for this long. So we want to provide the tools for acquiring our updates in as many ways as possible. So we will be sharing our end of month Medium update as well, and we all look forward to speaking to you all again at our next YouTube Live AMA. Thank you, everybody.